Hello and welcome to Pop Nerdom.
Yo.
Pop, 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 pop. That's your Pop Nerdom?
That was my pop.
Welcome to Pop Nerdom where Hanzy and I, my boy Hanzy and I,
Yo.
sit down to talk about everything that's popping in the nerd world, according to us, because obviously there's shit that's popping that we ain't talking about because we don't know about it, or because we don't care. Sorry, your boy Six.
Your boy Hanz.
And we're going right off the fucking deep end because we got so much shit to talk about today that we can't stop, won't stop. Get it. Look. It was very interesting. I was looking up stuff to talk about and reading. And, you know, like the way we come across shit is we're reading, we're looking one thing, something else pops up. And that's how we deal with. It dawned on me. There's so many animes.
So many
becoming
animes.
TV shows, movies,
live action,
all of it live action. None of it. I mean, look, I'm gonna read you this list, and then tell me what you think. Robotech, Gundam, by the guy that wrote White Lights Man. He's writing the Gundam movie.
This is gonna be live action.
Yeah. All of this
better be expensive.
All of this live action, huh? All of this live action. Sword Art Online, Akira, Full Metal Alchemist, Star Blazers, Voltron. This is just the ones that I kind of wrote down because there was a lot of shit there that I wasn't even pointing to. And dawned on me to some degree, even before we're talking about beyond the app wars that started. Beyond the app war that started a bit back since Disney was like, we're taking all y'all down to death. Beyond that, there is a feeling, I think, that comic books have been ruling the movie universe. And I think there's a lot of companies that are saying, hey, comic books are doing great. We can do great too if we, and you know, we didn't talk about Cowboy Bebop. We talked about 100 times, but shit that we know that's coming, One Note, you know, like things that we know that are coming that are becoming also like app TV shows. I think video games, unfortunately, haven't struck it nice. Video games, I don't think, can find a way to fucking push down the experience. I think they're stuck on trying to sell the experience of the video game instead of selling me the story. Okay? But I think that there are companies looking at all this and saying, you know, what's close to comic books that we can sell, that is not a cartoon, that is not American, that we can import in some way, or maybe it is also American that we can import some way, because Scooby-Doo movies have been done for a long time, but anime has been like, is trying to push. And I noticed that it's a lot of shit coming like a wave. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, we're not asking for that.
It's a boom. It's like a baby boom.
But do you ask, do you want that? Do you ask for that?
No, because honestly, I feel like as an anime fan, I am very fine and happy with and confined within this.
Anime being anime?
Yeah.
I mean,
on paper.
And by the way,
or on, you know, whatever.
Because it's a third generation, right? First you got the manga.
Yeah.
Then you get in the anime. And now you're going to third generation into a comic book.
Exactly.
It's already been diluted three times.
So many times. This is the generic of the generic.
And then you talk about things like Cowboy Bebop was never per se a comic book, right? Or a manga. It never was. It was meant to be an anime. Mm-hmm. So then when you have something like that, maybe something like that you can get away with being
but you got to think about how expensive and how intricate these anime fights are. Some of these fights, they break all kinds of physics. You have to do all kinds of CGI. And we saw and this is not even anime. This wasn't even a crazy fight. Like, just the dragon rides in Game of Thrones. One of the most expensive shows ever. Ever.
Right.
Right? Those fights were sometimes meh. right or wrong.
Sometimes, every once in a while, you get a meh.
You get a meh, right?
Right.
Now imagine it having to be that level all the time because it's always lived within these constructs, and these constructs you can draw anything. You can destroy worlds.
That is the beauty of making cartoons, and the actual beauty of making anime. You're absolutely correct. Is that there are no boundaries.
There really
the
isn't,
only
no.
boundary you have in anime versus, say, paper, a book or a comic book, which are also very different. The only constraint that you have is flow.
Hey, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, yes.
Like you in a comic book, you can have Superman thinking while he's punching somebody, right? For 2 pages,
yes,
he can be cracking that punch and then punching and thinking 47 fucking thoughts, right? In real life, if you did that in a cartoon, you can't have it. It also doesn't make sense because how are you concentrating on punching? You get over that real quick. Like you watch Batman punch somebody and there's a box on the corner being like, this guy so and so, he stole blah 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 blah, and I'm kicking his ass. You get over that because you need the information.
Yes, you need. Mm-hmm.
But in an animated form, the constraint is time in doing whatever you're going to do because you're trying to make it a little bit closer to reality. But there is no budget. You're absolutely right. There's no budget because if you can draw a car, you can draw an airplane. And if you can draw an airplane, you can draw a building. If you can draw a building, you can draw a city. And you can draw a city, you can draw a world.
Yep.
So it doesn't, like it just, obviously there's scales, but what I'm saying is the scale of painting a world is not the same scale of creating it with something.
Yes.
Even if that something is CGI. And there's a lot of CGI in anime today. But it seems to me like it's less arresting. You can get away with a lot of shit. Do you think that that's the move that do you think they're trying to capitalize on the comic book push, or do you think they're trying to knock it down?
No, I think they're trying to capitalize and slingshot off the comic book push because Disney has so much of the market cornered that you're going to see not only just anime, you're going to see so many B-side characters being created out of networks that we don't even know about,
right?
Just because,
and you hear it all the time,
flavor that people know.
Yeah, it's you hear it all the time. And look, like we talked about Spawn becoming a movie, and that's literally saying, well, all these comic book movies are doing great. So it's literally transferring from the page into movie, like it used to transfer from the page into TV as a cartoon or as a live TV show, whatever it may be. But I think it's crazy the amount of shit that's coming out not at once. It's a couple of years, but it's like in a back to back form, and yes. right, or it's in production. Hell, it's announced, whatever you want to call it, but at least it's a thought that is coming out, right? I'm really curious how that's going to affect the market because now you see, I don't have a problem with comic book movies because I think they're doing okay. I think when you hear shit like the Joker movies, The Boys is another example of something that's literally what I was talking about before about being before in the page and now coming to real life. That's what those are. Those are flavors of comic books that you can speed up because in the last 15 years when comic books, like really, if you want to really, really be technical, 66 or 67 was the Batman movie.
Batman and I will be catapulting right out of your TV sets and onto your theater screens.
That's right, Robin. Our first full-length motion picture feature in color opens a whole new world of thrills.
That was a campy thing. And Batman as a live-action TV show was its own animal. That had nothing to do with the comic book. It was its own animal on its own. But now when you talk about Superman the motion picture.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me? Who's got you?
That's really when I count the beginning of movies based on comic books. So because Batman, once again, has always been his own thing, I feel. But from 1978 to 1998, okay? 20 years of making comic book movies. You only had the chance really to be successful if you made a big comic book company movie.
A well-known name.
the DCs above the Marvels, okay, back then. And eventually, once Blade came out, the Marvels over the DCs. But in the interim on that time, you had a couple of independent comic book movies being made.
But just few and far in between.
But I mean, you had, and you know, like, see, I was gonna say like Howard the Duck, but Howard the Duck is a Disney property, so it doesn't, not Disney, a Marvel property. But let's say Spawn.
Peekaboo.
Spawn had a movie, nobody cared, and it was actually bad. So people actually probably cared, but it was bad. You have something like fuck, what's that movie with Ben Stiller, and they're all trying to be, fuck, I forgot. It's also a comic book. There's Ghost Girl. Like there's a couple of comic, Tank Girl also. There is these are the guys. Hellboy had a couple of movies. These are the guys that were on the sidelines trying to absorb from this, but they never, all of them, none of them really made it to the point where you're like, wow, right? Like unless you were into it, you were like, all right, well, I like that, but not like you weren't like into it, like nobody, they weren't what they are today. And I think it's very smart kind of for a company like companies that do anime. I think it's smart for them to try to jump on the bandwagon. I'm just scared that they're gonna overcrowd the fucking marketplace.
It shouldn't. Anime. Well, a live action movie based on an anime should feel like that. It should not feel like a Kevin Feige film.
Right. And it shouldn't feel like a comic book movie, right? I hope so. And I'm here trying to understand if that's what's going to happen. I don't know.
I don't see Gundam working. Do you know what they try to do with Gundam? Remember Pacific Rim?
Yeah, they put a Gundam in it. But
but remember, in Gundam, those things are the norm. They're like yellow taxis. You feel what I'm saying?
And the other thing is that Gundam, I always like Gundam because Gundam was a progression of human war fighting. So it got to the point where they're like, look, enough with the tanks. Let's make a giant fucking robot and kick everybody's ass. It's stupid. Believe me, it's stupid to have something with 4 extremities that's 5 feet tall because the destruction that you get from that, if it falls, it's stupid. But, you know, you get Robotech has the same concept, but not really. That one is about, Gundam is about war. If you make that shit, if this the guy from Why the Last Man writing it, I think you have a good chance of it being good.
It could be a good, but would it look like it? Would it?
But you can get away with that. Look, Hansi, if you know how you get away with that, if you make it like everything else that's good about the characters. Empire Strikes Back is probably the most beloved Star Wars movie. And by the best one, right? By most people, they judge it as to being the best one. Empire Strikes Back. The reason why Empire Strikes Back is the best one is because
it's character based, character driven.
There's not about the ships. It's about finding out who Luke's father is, finding out what Darth Vader is, finding out that Han Solo got frozen, that he loves Leia, finding out that Yoda is this little thing, and he's telling him all of these truths.
You see, that's where comic and anime draw the line right there. Comics do the character and the blah, and maybe sometimes there's not that much fighting. In anime, there's character, there's blah 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 blah. There's all of that.
It's about the power.
There's always fighting. It's always about It's always about the next fight.
It's about the power.
Always.
It's always been.
Always.
And you know, like, well, you know,
because like not to cut you off. Like I was reading like 2-3 months ago. I was reading when Craven kills Fake kills Spider-Man, that he buries him and stuff like that. El Diablo. that he fake kills him and shit.
Yeah. Like I'm like, yo, your phone right now.
I'm like, yo, it was good, but there was no action, but it was character driven. That couldn't be an anime.
It's all about the weight of the character, but also, I mean, you can't compare
because and you know why animes that do that, I call it hennates.
you can't compare at that moment 30 years of Spider-Man with 2 years of anime. But I mean, I don't know, man, because I'm thinking like Saint Seiya is about the power-up. But let's say like Space Adventure Cobra. And I don't know that you've ever seen that.
No.
The Space Adventure Cobra is about this guy whose name is Cobra, who used to be the most wanted pirate in the world. And he lost his memory. It's kind of like Jason Bourne. But it's more of a detective story, and he goes about having little adventures. That's the original version of it. It wasn't about a power-up. It was more about like, hey, let's steal this and give it back to... It was more like Indiana Jonesy, tits in the air. There used to be, I feel like, there used to be back in the beginning of anime, two kinds of anime. One was a giant monster anime, where there was a robot fighting
you gotta
it.
fight a big baddie, yeah. Mhm.
And then you have a robot fighting like Voltron. Like Voltron is all about that, right? You had shit like Robotech, which is the same thing. Robotech is the same thing, but it's more sophisticated. But that's what I mean. And then you have something like Cobra or Star Blazers. Like that was really more about adventures than it was about power-ups in some degree, right? I think that stuff like Batons or Gundam are very well balanced dramatic stories, like Ghost in a Shell.
Ghost in a Shell
Like Ghost in a Shell is a very well balanced dramatic story that happens to have technology in it, but it's really Ghost in a Shell is really about the marriage of Japanese people with technology and what that really means and the danger of it. Should it become what everybody would probably want it to become? You know, it's a very Japanese-centered story because it's about the mentality of the Japanese people with technology. Most Asians, actually, not just Japanese, but Japanese-centric because they were in the 80s, I think they still are, married to that technology. Well, they still are, for sure. So those are stories. So, you know, like you have two flavors of anime, and then you have the power-up anime. That's where Saint Seiya came in. That's where Dragon Ball, Naruto, all of those things are about all things are about powering up. I think that something like Bottoms or Gundam is like Robotech. Those are about war. There's heavier things in it that you can draw from that you could probably make a good movie out of without having to worry about how far from them battling a giant thing is, because that's what Gundam has never been about. That Gundam has been about, although I don't remember, it was the original Gundam about them fighting giant robots.
Yeah, bro, that shit was
giant monsters.
Was good.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's right.
There's just a lot of destruction in anime. And it's like a lot of like stuff that.
But don't you think Pacific Rim pulls that off?
It was really cheesy.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, imagine Pacific Rim is a step in that direction.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
All right. Then you have movies like Godzilla King of Monsters that just came out.
I mean, even Alita is a step in that way, kind of, sort of, because everything was CGI and everybody had an augmented robot kind of.
Okay. So what? I mean, it's going to cost money, but it can be done. But what you're afraid is like going cheap on it.
Yeah.
But what I think is like in something like out of this entire list of movies, Gundam, Naruto, what did I write here? Jesus, I can't write my handwriting. I'm sorry.
Can't write.
But like I know I can read it. I can write it. Sword Art Online. That's what I wrote here. Like those are things that like Sword Art Online is like Ready Player One, basically.
Yeah.
So like you can get away with those things, but those are things that you cannot do on the cheap.
You can't. That's the only thing. But that's Gundam, what they're historically known. Historically.
But Gundam can go that way. Gundam can go not on the cheap, but like kind of skew more into
the more human side of the Gundam.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Like Evangelion. Like Evangelion was really about the people. It wasn't really about them getting on the fucking robots. You know, so you can get away with it if it's done right. You know?
I just don't do it cheap. Don't be cheap.
All right.
Because It's a.
How are you gonna do Voltron, dude? Like, there's shit in this list that I'm just like, what?
I don't know how they're gonna do Naruto, honestly.
But Naruto, like anything where you augment a person, I think you do fine with.
Is the fight scenes in Naruto?
Yeah, but
bro.
let me explain it to you like this. Let me explain it to you like this. When you watch a movie like John Wick, okay, because John Wick is kind of about the power up every time, right? Kind of. Don't you think that when you see it realized in person, if it's done right, you can get away with not making it so extreme? Like, I think like something like Naruto, even well, maybe not Dragon, but maybe even Dragon Ball. Like, when you see somebody actually kung fuing, when it's a real person, there is something in your brain that kicks in that you feel like you can't fucking jump in midair and fly.
But then again, fucking Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, bro.
Yeah, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but
that's how they have to do it. It has to be like that.
Remember that Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon also had a part of it that is it's very poetic. It's visually poetic.
Oh, it flows.
Right, it's visually poetic.
But that's how it is in Naruto, bro.
It's not so aggressive. You're right, so you can get away with it doing it like that.
No, like we gotta watch. I want you to watch a Naruto fight. So
I've seen Naruto, bro. I've seen Naruto. I mean, I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen it.
Like, cause it's just the way they, and also, honestly, they could do it right, but it can also take away from it because it was something about the way they animating it one way. And then when he gets punched in the face, it's a different animation. So you feel it. When they're running, it's a different animation, different lines.
You can pull that off. You can pull that off in I think. I'm very excited, and we haven't talked a lot about what's it called? Earth, Wind, Fire.
Oh, Captain Planet.
No. Aang.
Oh, Avatar.
Avatar. Jesus, I forget. I remember the character. I can remember the show. Avatar, they've been working on, and they're doing a live action. I think Avatar is going to be the real standard.
That could be a catalyst. That could be the catalyst, no lie.
The real standard and what everything else is going to be measured, because that was more widespread.
Avatar, the Blue People, was like the catalyst for CGI.
In 3D,
right? Yeah, in 3D.
So,
they looked real. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
So let's see how that goes. Speaking of Disney being the ruler of the world, I know that we're talking about them ruling on the Marvel side, ruling the movie universe, but the app universe. So the amount of shit coming to Disney,
ridiculous.
It's fucking ridiculous.
They're not playing.
They're just really coming. They're just trying to kill everybody.
They really are.
So we've talked a ton about the Mandalorian and all the Marvel shows that are coming
the
through.
What Ifs, the WandaVisions, the Captain.
Yeah, right.
Winter Soldier. Miss Marvel. All that.
But
talk about the stuff that we grew up watching.
Before we even go there, even Willow series. Do you know there was a Willow series coming to fucking
No, I did not know.
DC? Come on, man. DC Plus. Marvel Plus?
DC wish they had a plus. And y'all DC negative. Disney wish they were, DC wishes
they had
they
1%
were good
of the
enough.
plus.
Yeah.
But even
DC
Willow,
plus.
like, they really fucking with everybody, dude. They just fucking with everybody. Because Willow is going to be their Witcher. It's for children. It's going to be PG. Everybody's going to watch it. It's fucking crazy. They're fucking coming to kill everybody, dude.
All levels. So, you 14, we got something for that. You 17, we got something for that.
Yo, so speak about our childhood because you mentioned it. And I was reading today the amount of shit coming to Disney Plus that already happened. Darkwing Duck.
Ooh.
Rescue Rangers.
Goosebumps on Darkwing Duck. Fucking love that shit.
Gargoyles. Original DuckTales.
Original DuckTales.
And not to mention that they may add 90s X-Men cartoon. Meow, 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 meow. Spider-Man, 90s cartoon that everybody loved. I don't like Spider-Man, so I never saw it, but X-Men was everybody's fucking jam. Everybody's jam.
Those are probably top two Marvel creations, yo.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you know what I'm wishing for is never going to happen. You know what I wish for? I wish they will make a block of cartoons that they will play kind of live on the app and have Batman the Animated Series in it. That's all I need. I will work and pay for the app. I will work and come home and just watch the app.
You don't gotta switch it ever.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's fucking crazy.
And these are the things we know about.
Yeah, imagine the shit that we don't.
Exactly.
Right. So, speaking of apps, app that I never even heard of. Peacock.
What is that, yo?
Somebody's cock. That's pee. Full of pee. Peacock is NBC's app. Wonder why you haven't heard of it?
What does NBC have that's theirs? Like, what's a household show that? Because I don't watch regular cable. You know what I mean?
That's not even cable. That's television. That's like antenna shit. But man, those somebody's smashing some plates. They are. This is how I heard about it. First, I read that they're making a Saved by the Bell sequel remake. So I was like, never liked Saved by the Bell.
Save it for somebody else.
Yes, never liked Saved by the Bell. But then
Saved by the Bell. Don't remake it. It was one of those TV shows that was good because of a point in time.
Right, but if you can recapture the simplicity of the show and make it for today's youth, I think it works. Actually, I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, it probably was, but I won't care.
Right, but I'm not gonna watch it. But that's for a fucking
save it for later.
14-year-old. But when I read that the guy that makes Mr. Robot is making a Battlestar Galactica remake that's going to Peacock.
So they're serious about this then.
So that's when I went to see what the fuck is Peacock. Because I didn't know what it was.
Is this really somebody's cup?
So I feel really bad because I feel like none of that what I mentioned, which is only two things. When we mentioned one thing about Disney Plus, we were like, we're in.
Yeah.
Mandalorian,
yeah.
We're in. I mentioned two things in this thing, and as much as I like Battlestar Galactica, I'm just not paying for it.
And that sucks that people have to battle against that. Disney is just like Frank Lucas said. It's like Pepsi. It's a brand. You can trust it. Yo,
it's crazy.
This is nuts, yo. I don't know if this was like their big idea, but they're like, yeah, we're gonna give certain little everywhere, and then 50 years from now, we're going to collect everything, and it's going to be a power.
I'm sure. No, I'm sure not, because back when what I'm sure happened was maybe in the introduction of VHS, they realized, we got him, because we can always this shit on the vault that has never left the vault.
Of course.
And like I don't even know if that's coming into the app. If you got to pay, like, listen, whoa. Imagine this. It costs you $20, whatever it is, $7 for it's $16 with everything, right? ESPN Plus.
$12.99.
It's $12. You want the vault? $100 a month.
I'll take it.
But
I got 4 people I know I could split that shit.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
You're one of them.
It's crazy how much this shit. It just.
They have it. It's hard, yo, not for nothing. And it's hard. And as you can see, that people are really threatened because apps are just popping out of nowhere. Peacock. You mentioned something else the other time, another streaming service. You know what I mean? It's just
Right. It's just the people trying to fight to grab to something. They can't. And they're not going to.
and that's why and you know why? Because there's not. I don't know. Maybe Hollywood isn't green lighting original content, but there's so much remake being made that people are just trying to buy old stuff just so you don't have it. Like, I'm gonna buy all of these names just in case your studio don't have it. I might not have the money to make it, but you're not gonna have it.
But you're not going to have... Yeah, it's not yours.
A lot of that's happening. Dude, Hasbro owns Death Row Records.
It's crazy, dude. It's all crazy. All of it is crazy.
Fuck you gonna do with Tupac?
Make a toy. Make a Lego.
Lego Tupac will be fired.
Yo, for real.
I'd do Lego Tupac.
Yeah, of course you would.
I would.
It'd be a set. It'd be a set with a building where he got shot when he came to see Biggie. So you have Biggie on the top recording.
Damn, what was the name of those the studio? Damn, I forgot the name of that studio. But yeah, I was just listening to a podcast about that.
When Bad Boys was recording over in, I forgot what the studio is too. Anyways, as much as I want to say that Disney Plus is going to have competition, there's no fucking way in hell.
See, they will have competition, but the competition will have one thing. And do you want to spend your money for that one thing?
It's not worth it.
That's what I'm saying. Where's you going to get your bang for your buck? Bro, they're literally saying, yo, here's Disney. Give us $12 and we throw in Hulu, we throw in ESPN. You know what I'm saying? Like, come sit over here. Come sit with the winners.
It's crazy, dude. Well, anyway,
I'm there.
Sorry, Peacock.
Yeah, I'm not doing a Peacock. I'm sorry.
So let's jump into
the Nerd Blitz.
The Nerdom of the Blitzum.
Let's get it. Link's Awakening remake for Switch.
Looks super cute. I'm definitely gonna play it. I didn't even finish. What's it called?
I know
Breath of
the Wild.
Mm-hmm. Because it's way too big. But this is supposed to be tiny and cute. So I'm down with
Me
it.
and my girl I'm still working on getting a Switch. I'm broke. So yeah.
Don't say it like that. Broke my heart.
Alright. Ash, finally a Pokemon Master. Episode 139 of Sun and Moon. Bro, it took you like 30 years. I've been watching you for a long time. I've been rooting for you.
20?
Shout me a holla.
20-something years for real?
Yeah.
26 years, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'll be there next time. That's me. That's my goal. No Joker sequel.
Good.
At least according to the director.
Well, I think that he what he mentioned was it's meant to be one movie.
Yes.
and
He
that's what's
didn't
gonna
leave
be.
no open holes, no nothing.
And he doesn't want to make it. He just wanted to make his version of it, Joker's origin. So
Dark Knight Part 4. Explain to this. And I need you to.
So The Dark Knight is the comic book that came out in the 80s.
Yep.
The Dark Knight Returns. There was a sequel that was a little weird that came out in the mid 90s. It's the one that people point to the most to be like, this shit crazy. There was part 3. It's called the Superman or something like that. It's about the people in Kandor, the little bottle city that Superman has. That was the one that came out that I think it ended last year. And now there's a new one coming out that's going to be The Golden Child, which is not the movie with Eddie Murphy, but it's about Superman's kid. Because Superman and Wonder Woman have a kid.
Ooh.
And,
super wonderful.
And I think it's the sequel. It's part 4 of that series of stories. They're self-contained, kind of, like you kind of have to read them all, but they're kind of self-contained. And I'm looking forward to that. Have you even read any of the Dark? You read the first Dark Knight?
Yes, sir.
How about the second one?
No.
All right. So,
I'll find it somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Set It Off to be re-imaged by Issa Rae from HBO Insecure.
I don't know what to say about that. I didn't like Set It Off, but let me say this fairly and honestly. I didn't watch Set It Off because I lived in the South Bronx when that movie came out, and I saw people setting it off all the time around the block, just getting shot and shit. So I didn't need to watch it.
I'm excited. I feel like there's a great cast of young black women out now, more than even back then. So I feel like the pool is bigger.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Mortal Kombat started shooting the live action movie.
Movie.
Yeah. You can get over here or leave. That's how I feel. Honestly, I don't care.
I like, remember a few years back there was a YouTube thing about Mortal Kombat? That was really good. I liked it until the end, like it kind of wiped out at the end. I don't know. I mean, let's see how it turns out.
Stallone wants a Rambo prequel.
Of course Stallone wants a Rambo prequel. Stallone wants to make money out of all of his old things for
I think him and Arnold secretly have a pact like, yo, how many times can we play this damn role? And he's like, nah, I could get 17. He's like, nah, I get 19.
So in my other podcast that I cheat with you on called Two Friends in the Movie.
Two Friends in the Movie.
The last episode that we just did was about, it was an actor showcase on Arnold Schwarzenegger. And we talked about specifically about how old he is now, what he's meant, what he's done. And I'm going to leave the link below so that you guys can please go listen to that. It's actually funny as fuck. But also, interestingly, that you bring it up because we both were saying, Matt and I, that enough.
Yeah, stop.
Just
chill.
Chill. You're done.
Chill.
Anyways.
Yo, Stallone.
Sit down.
Apple TV, $4.99 to compete with Disney Plus.
I don't care.
Not for nothing. I do not see content creators running to sell their shit to Apple TV.
I saw one trailer for an Apple TV show, and we'll talk about that in a few seconds because we're going to talk about some trailers.
And bam.
Are we there?
We're here.
Oh, wow.
Trailers and things. Trailers and things.
Trailers and things. I saw this trailer for a show called See. Not See the Water, but See with Your Eyes.
Or See.
From Apple TV. It's with Jason Momoa and
Aquaman, right?
Aquaman or Khal Drogo.
Or he was Khal Drogo.
And where everybody's blind and they have these children that can actually see. And you have
hating.
So it is kind of like Children of Men.
That shit sucks. You gotta see for everybody. Yo, Carl! Damn, go down there, man. You going down there, ma?
But these are babies. Like, they're not like children. They're babies. Like newborns.
They gotta grow, though.
So, well, I mean, what they see in the trailer is like these people are coming for those babies because...
They see.
Yeah.
But how you... Yo, let me tell you, babies, you're weak. If y'all get caught by some blind niggas and you can see, like, you ain't see him coming, bro.
But they can't even walk, bro.
I don't care. It's a movie.
Give them a gun. They're good.
For real.
It looked interesting. You know what it looked more than interesting? Fucking expensive. And I'm talking beyond HBO expensive. I'm talking expensive.
I see Apple doing that. Just one-offing every now and then, just dropping.
It looked expensive, dude. I'm telling you right now, that shit looked like Planet of the Apes expensive. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I don't know what to tell you about that.
Let me tell you the problem with iTunes.
What's that?
How much is that movie?
It's not a movie. It's a show.
It's a show? How much?
For Apple TV.
Is it free?
It's for that thing.
Oh shit. I thought you had to, like, you know how they sell you stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was that. Oh, all right.
I mean, but they probably sell you stuff. Like, if you want to just buy the series, it could probably cost you like $1 an episode or something like that.
That's crazy. They're lining up. Oh, okay. I thought they were going to try to buy old stuff and just
And they've done that. I think there's a couple of announcements that they made, but there's something else that they announced, and I forgot. I think they have Trenchstone, maybe? That's a Jason Bourne kind of prequel thing?
I thought that was on Prime.
Is that on Prime?
Don't quote me.
So then I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Quote me.
But it looks like they're gearing up for something.
Everybody is.
Gears of War.
Everybody is.
And
Streaming wars.
I saw this Netflix trailer for something called Daybreak. It's about zombies. It looks bananas. It's about like high school kids surviving the zombie apocalypse. They're all losers, and all the football players, like all the jocks, it looks like if you ever read Akira, and I know that you haven't, but if somebody else out there has, after Akira comes back to life and they activate the soul unit with the laser and Japan gets all fucked up, it all breaks into little factions of people, and it looks like that's what happened in the show. It's like faction of like teenagers fucking around with guns and machetes dealing with zombies.
Were any of them blind?
No.
They will survive. And that's me telling them little kids and see. Y'all better survive.
I don't think they want to kill the kids. I would think they want to take the kids. I think vision is power. If you only have one guy that can see and be like, yo, they coming.
Word. I mean, that's a sucky ass job, yo. You have to see for everybody.
Yo, shoot to the left. Now on two left. Less left. There you go.
Are you blind? Shit. He fucking is. Because you know that's going to slip out.
Are you fucking blind? Oh, hold on.
You have your head up your ass. Like, no, motherfucker, I'm blind.
Look good.
I'm checking them out.
The trailer for both Daylight and Sea are out there. They look good. They're going to be here while we're talking about it, obviously. Yeah. So, but...
There goes the kid that can see.
God damn, every time you do that, I have to like fucking look for the shot. Yeah, man. Interesting that we talk so much about these things, but we haven't had a subject that is so abstract in that sense, where we're kind of lost for what is really happening. Do you have any trailers you wanted to talk about?
Well, I saw the poster for Irishman. Pesci.
You haven't seen that trailer?
De Niro. I saw the poster.
You haven't seen the trailer?
No, I saw the trailer, but the poster looked real good. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
It got me excited. You know, I'm taking a design class now, so I have like a design eye. Like, oh my god, composition, man. It's like, oh, well, that artsy fartsy shit. But that shit got me excited.
Once I saw that trailer, you heard how they tested out the technology to do it. It's De Palma that's directing that, right?
Yes.
De Palma brought over De Niro and Pesci and told them to redo a scene from Goodfellas. Just redo it from scratch. Then they shot it, de-aged them, and put them side to side with the original. And he looked at both of them and was like, all right, we can do this. Shit. I want to see that movie in the theater, dude. I know it's coming to the theater, but I know it's not.
You think Stallone wants to de-age himself for the prequel?
For Rambo.
We gotta leave it there.
You can't de-age. You can de-age your running, bro. You look like a 98-year-old trying to run.
Yeah. He definitely. There's no fluidity, nothing.
Oh my god, that has been popular. Do you have anything else to
No, that's it.
That has been Pop Nerdom. Thank you for coming by. Hit like, subscribe.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
If you stumbled here, welcome. I hope you liked it. We talked kind of very seriously about some dumb shit, but I hope you liked it.
Yeah.
And sorry for all the noise going on. I guess everybody decided to clean when we were shooting.
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that
This
sometimes.
is an actual house. People live here.
I live here, so. Thank you. Peace in the Middle East.
Bang.
That's the end of the video. And bye. Don't forget to subscribe. That's it.